now that we've opened up through the joints of our lower body and we've gotten the blood flowing, let's kick it up a notch and get our heart rate up and tone our muscles a little bit. So the first exercise we're going to do is we're just going to march in place. Good. Now swing your arms, move with some purpose, stand up nice and tall, and continue to breathe. Land lightly, like you're trying to be really quiet. And now start to pick your knees up a little higher. That'll activate through your core a little bit more and the tops of those leg muscles. And if you want a little bit more for your heart rate, you can move a little quicker. Swing your arms a little faster. Just like that. 3, 2, 1. We'll go right into a stepping jack. So take one foot out, put some weight on it, lift your hands up, hands down, foot in, other side. So it's out and up, in and down. So something to remember as we exercise is that when your hands go over the heart level, so when your arms are raised above the chest, your heart rate is going to increase pretty rapidly. So if you're having some trouble breathing, or if this is a little bit much for you, then you can just take your hands right in front. Or even cross them down in front of your hips. And again, if you wanted to take it up a notch, you just move a little quicker. Good. 2 more. Last one. Good. All right, so the next one, you're definitely going to need a chair. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me. Your hands are going to rest on the back of that chair. You're going to stand up nice and tall, softly bend your knees. Now take your right foot back behind you. Kneecaps are facing forward, so they're facing the back of the chair, and your hips are square towards that chair. Pull that right heel towards the back of your right hip and drop it down. Lift and lower. Now you have a soft bend in your left knee, that's the one you're standing on, to keep your joints safe. Good. Now you'll start to feel this in the hamstring, the back of that leg that's moving. You can increase the muscle activation by squeezing that heel towards the back of the hip even more. 3, 2, bring it up and hold. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Breathe, relax, shake it out. Same thing on the other side. Left heel is going to come towards the back of the left hip. Kneecaps are facing the same direction. Standing up nice and tall. We have a tendency here to kind of relax on that chair. We want to keep the integrity of our spine, working on that pretty posture. Good. Squeeze that heel towards the back of the hip. 4, 3, 2, bring it up and hold. Squeeze. You'll feel the fatigue in the back of that leg. Good. And now just go from one side to the other. Now as your heel comes towards the back of the same hip, flex through your feet. I don't know about you, but I feel that burden in my hamstrings. One more each direction. Relax. Okay, so you're still at the back of your chair, standing up nice and tall, soft bend in both knees. Now I'll be mirroring you. So you're going to take your left foot out to the side, all 10 toes face forward. Now bend your right knee a little bit more and try and keep your right shoulder on top of the right hip. As you activate through the outside of the left thigh and lift straight up to the side and lower. Let me scoot back a little bit so you can see. There you go. Lift and lower. Use your breath. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Core nice and tight. Now remember, all 10 toes are facing forward. So it's the outside of that foot that leads the lift. Good. And you'll feel the outer hip of the standing leg really getting fatigued. Those are your stabilizing muscles. That's good. 2, 1. Can you bring it up any amount and hold? Stand up tall, relax those shoulders. Root down through the standing foot. Good. Shake it out. Wiggle your hips from side to side. That should feel pretty good. Good. One more side to go. Now the opposite foot is out. All 10 toes face the same direction. Bend a little more into that standing leg. Now your left hip will stay right over your left shoulder. Lead with the outside of that foot. Lift and lower. Exhale up. Inhale down. Root down through your standing foot. You're going to need your breath here. Exhale as you lift, inhale as you lower. I don't need the height to be the same on either side. Just make sure your effort is the same on either side. As always, anything that hurts, be careful. Find a movement that's comfortable for you. There's a difference between feeling the burn and feeling the pain. Good work. Let's do 3, 2, all 10 toes face forward. Last one, bring it up and hold anywhere you can. Relax. Woo-wee. All right, now you're continuing to stand at the back of your chair. Chest up nice and tall. Feet are hip distance apart, all 10 toes facing forward. Soft bend in the knees. And then tuck your hips forward just a little bit so you feel your spine nice and tall. And then you're going to lift your heels, raise up on your toes, and lower your heels back down. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Now check the swing of your hips. Is this movement coming from momentum? Are we just going rocking back and forth? Or are you activating through the back of your legs to press to the tippy toes and lower those heels back down with control? You lift and lower, lift and lower. This is also great for our ankle joints as we build the muscles in the backs of our legs, even up into the booty. Let's do 3 more. You know what's coming. Last one. Now bring it up and hold. Just breathe. Inhaling and exhaling. You've got that soft bend in your knees. Press a little higher into the toes and relax. Shake it out. All right. So for the next one, you're going to have your feet hip distance apart. You're going to bend your knees softly. Tuck your hips right underneath. Think about your head being over your heart, heart over hips, and hips over heels. And then you want to keep that alignment as you dig your heels into the ground and lift your toes up and lower them down. Now lift them and spread them and lower back down. Lift and lower. Now this doesn't feel like an exaggerated movement whatsoever. But if you focus on what you're doing and the sensations you're creating, you're activating through the front of the legs. Now see if you can lift the balls of your feet up. So toes first, then the balls. Good. Again, you'll feel a big difference if you're creating that movement by pushing your booty behind you and then bringing it forward again. You can lift your toes and the tops of your feet without back and forth. Those are muscles you don't work very often, right? 3, 2, soft bend in the knees. 1, toes lift, spread, hold. Now see if you can lift a little bit more until it's just your heels touching the ground. It's going to be different for everyone depending on how high or flat your arches are. Just lift as much as you can. And relax. Good. Now just take one set of toes down towards the ground. The heel is lifted, knee is bent, and circle your ankle in one direction. And switch directions. Other side. On the ball of that foot and then circle through the ankle. And switch directions. All right, now you're going to face your chair and take a big step back with your left foot. Remember we worked on this a little bit in the last video? Try and get all 10 toes to face the same direction. Bend into your front knee, press through your back heel, chest up nice and tall, belly button squeezes toward the spine. Good. Now just rock your hips from the right to the left. Right to left. Right to left. Good. And if you want to work on your balance a little more, you can take your left hand up or both hands up. So as you rock your hips from side to side, that's going to knock you off balance, but you keep that tight core and you're going to be able to stay stable. Good. Now bend into the front knee, press into the back heel, and you're going to lift both fingertips up, relax the shoulders down. Now you can rest one hand on that chair if you need to. We're going to arc up and over to one side, and then all the way over to the other side. So our lower body stays in the same position, and we're thinking about lengthening through the sides of our waist, shoulders right over the hips. If you feel stable, you can take both hands up. Move at your own pace. Wobbling is fine. Catching yourself is fine. The more you do this, the better you're going to get at it. Stand up nice and tall. Let's do the other side. Big step back with the right foot. Try to make all 10 toes face the same direction. Relax those shoulders, tight core. Bend to the front knee. Press into the back heel. Good. Now just take your hips over to the left. Take your hips over to the right. To the left. To the right. What differences do you feel on this side? Maybe one side is tighter than the other. Maybe you hear some snap, crackling, and popping. That's pretty normal. Remember, stop at a point that there's any discomfort. Last one each direction. Bring your hips right underneath your shoulders. This time you either want the same hand as the back leg that's up, or both. And we're going to tip over. And to the opposite side. Plant those feet down. Pick a spot to focus on that isn't moving. And think about lengthening through your torso as much as you can. So you want as much space between the top of your hip and your bottom rib on either side as you can muster. And you might feel your spine lengthening a little bit through this one too. I do. Bring it back up to the top and step it in. Good. Now we're going to work on our balance a little bit more, so have that chair nearby. However, you don't want it in front of you for this one because you'll end up kicking it. So you can have it to the side, or if you're using a wall, you could get pretty close to the back of the wall with your palms against it, and you can even use the vertical wall to help you stand up nice and vertical as well. Soft bend in the knees. I want want you to raise your right foot up and hold. 2, 3. Drop it down, left foot up. Hold. 2, 3. Good. Stand up nice and tall. We're going to be here for a moment. Now notice if your hip is following you up as you lift your foot. Are you kind of doing this motion? Press that hip back down. Big difference, yeah. Exhale as you lift and hold. 2, 3. Another exhale. Make your chest proud. Stand up nice and tall. You'll feel this working in your core. Good. Lift and hold. Lift and hold. So you can increase the challenge of this movement by taking your hands up, taking your arms out if that feels good. Let's move a little bit faster. Kick and kick, kick and kick. One more each side. Kick and kick. Good. All right. Now you're going to take one foot in front of you. Let's do the left foot first. So you're going to bend your right knee and press your booty back a little bit, like it's going to extend back over the right heel, which will cause you to take the weight off of your left foot and pull your toes back towards you in the front. Take your hands on top of the back thigh. Reach your spine long out in front of you. Lift your belly button away from the thighs. And then start to hinge from the hips just a little bit until you feel the stretch in the back of that front leg. And breathe. Now raise up just a little bit and take all 5 toes of that front foot and take your foot out and bring it back in. Soft bend in that front knee. This might be challenging your balance a little bit, and that's okay. Side to side. Now keep your foot turned in. Your hips are square. Now reach your right arm forward and turn and look towards the right. I'm sorry, that would be your left. And then stand back up. Keep that foot internally rotated in front. Lean forward and look over the front foot. Back up. You should feel a really nice stretch through the outside of that front leg. We'll do one more like that. To the top. Good. Shake it out. Bring your opposite foot in front. Take your weight into your left heel. Shoot your booty back over that left heel. Bend the left knee. Pull the right toes back towards the right shin. Hands on the back thigh. And then extend your spine nice and long. Lift your belly button away from your thighs and relax over your thighs. Relax your shoulders. And just enjoy that calf and hamstring stretch. All right, come up just a little bit. Now softly bend your front knee. Your back knee is still bent. You're going to take all 5 toes to one side and then the other. One side and then the other. Good. So you should feel the rotation not only in your foot, but you'll feel your leg moving in your hip joint as well as you internally and externally rotate. 3 more. 2. Last one. Keep that foot turned in. Square off your hips, press your hips back, and then you reach your left arm forward, turn and look towards your right. and back up towards standing. And then press your hips back as you reach forward with the left arm and back up and reach. Good. This will be a little bit tough on your balance. Use support if you need to. Let's do 3 more. Is your foot still internally rotated? Mine crept back up to the top. Last one. Stand up nice and tall, shake it out. And for a last little recovery stretch, take your hands on top of the chair. Let your wrist go to the front of it. Walk your feet back a little bit wider than hip distance. Now press your booty back and even up a little bit. Look down towards the floor. And then let your chest drop. And just hang out for a second. That should feel like a nice opening through the front of your shoulders and a nice stretch through your hamstrings as you keep pressing your booty back and up. Your knees can be as bent as you'd like here. Any little movement that feels good, you can bend one knee deeply and then the other. Totally fine. You can rock your hips from side to side. Now look up, bring your chest up a little bit, and slowly walk your feet back towards the front, or the back of your chair. Good. Now to end, I want us to incorporate some stabilizing strength, balance, and mindfulness. So take your feet right underneath your hips, turn your palms open to the front, and then press your fingertips down as you raise your heart up towards the sky. And then squeeze your belly button towards your spine a little bit so you've got this nice, good posture. Shoulders are relaxed away from the ears, collarbones are open. Now release any tension through your neck. And then pick up one set of toes and spread them wide and set them back down. And then do the same on the other side. So you've got a nice wide base of your feet. Good. Now close your eyes and keep them gently shut. So you're not using tension to close your eyes. Your eyes are relaxed. And there's nothing distracting you by trying to catch your attention through your vision. Now think about a string being at the crown of your head, and it's hanging from the ceiling, and it starts to pull you up a little bit taller. What does that feel like throughout your body? Now I want you to take your awareness to your legs. Start right at the hip joints. Is there any tightness there? Is there any tingling? Are there tiny little micro movements helping you to stand up tall? Now melt down a little bit towards the middle of your thighs. And then think about your awareness wrapping all the way around. So you're paying attention to the front of your legs, the outsides, the back, the insides. Now work down towards your knees. Notice any sensations, how one side might feel different than the other. No judgment, you don't have to call it right or wrong. Just notice it. Down into your calf muscles, all the way forward towards your shins. Are they activated? Into your ankles. See if you can channel what it means to lift up out of your ankles. Do you feel a little lighter there? Good. Now continue to imagine lifting up out of your ankles as you root down through your feet. Now, I want you to take your weight to the outside of either foot and relax your feet back down to a normal, natural position. And then take your weight towards the inside of your feet. Now you've checked in with your legs, so what's going on all the way through your lower body as you make that little micro movement? And place your feet back down to a natural position. Now rock forward on your feet. What's going on? And rock back towards the heels. Your toes might even lift a little bit. Now continuing to keep your eyes closed, place your feet down into that natural position and think about drawing circles underneath your feet by shifting the weight. So it goes outside to the top, inside to the heels, back to the outside, all the way around to the top, to the inside, to the heels. Now pause here and change the direction. So go to the inside, all the way to the top, to the outside, to the heels, all the way around to the inside, towards the top, towards the outside, towards the heels, and then set your feet back down in a naturally grounded position. Open your eyes nice and slow, and shake it all out. Great job, ladies.